What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. Back at it with some more college football talk, some NFL talk. A lot of news this last past week. A lot of good games. A lot of like I said, news in just going around the sports world. Of course, we got to hit on it. And I got my guy here, Dad, one half of the pod. How you doing today, man?
What's good, bro? Thursday, about the end of the week. It's game day for me, but the start of a good sports week. So glad to be back with our weekly show.
Yeah, I don't know how many people watching that one tonight. I don't know
They'll
how many
tune in
people.
because it's the only game on TV. They're not gonna watch those college football games. They'll be locked in on the last two number one draft picks. So I think we'll have a good little audience for the first dub of the season.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I might catch a little bit of it just to see. You said we'll talk about it a little later. But like you said, they did play a little bit better last week, but still threw the game away. But like I said, definitely want to hop right into it. We always start off with college football first, and last week was kind of light on the loaded matchups, but it was still a good week of college football all in all. A lot of good games that was on TV, but this week we got, I believe, 3 top 12 matchups. Yeah, 3 top 12 matchups this week. A lot of SEC matchups. Some good games that we're going to get into. And the first one, of course, I want to hit on. It's an early game. I'm guessing they didn't think it was going to be a big name game, coming this time of the season. Obviously we thought Georgia would be there, but I don't know if many people had Arkansas penciled in to be a top 8 squad. But Georgia, Arkansas, 12 o'clock this Saturday. What you think about this one, Thad?
A good matchup. You hit the nail on the head. That's really what happened. They didn't expect. Nobody saw Arkansas being the number 8 team in the country
at all.
And this matchup happened. They've had some good wins. They beat Texas A&M last week. They beat Texas earlier on in the season. And the coach that came from Georgia, he seems to have things rolling in Fayetteville. So, but I think Georgia's the better team. I think they'll come out on top. Georgia finally has their quarterback that they can. They're not just winning by a quarterback game managing and playing good defense. JT Daniels can make plays over the top, and they're only getting weapons back. Pickett and other players will come back as the season goes along, hopefully in time for Florida. But I think Georgia's just the better team, and this will. Arkansas has been good so far. I think the program's on the rise, but they're not there yet. So I see Georgia. I'm going to give Arkansas a little bit of respect. I'm going to say Georgia 31-17. But it could be bigger. Like I feel like I'm being really respectful of Arkansas because I don't know if they're really there yet, even though they have 2 quality wins on the season. And Texas A&M, I don't know how they are with the backup quarterback, but yeah. But it's a win is a win, and they were a top 10 team at the time. But I think the winning streak comes to an end this week. What you got?
Yeah, same here. I mean, honestly, I'm hoping it's a good game. Obviously, I'm hoping they get upset. Fellas, my poor Aggies. What's up, Kenneth? Appreciate you for tuning in. But yeah. Like you said, your poor Aggies definitely. Arkansas got off to a hot start, and y'all pretty much were done from the beginning of the game. I think it was like 17-3 early on. I think in the first half, something like that. Yeah, but I'm hoping it's a good game. I'm hoping obviously they upset them because that just does better for me and my Gators when it comes time. I think 3rd, 4th week of October.
It's the last week, October.
Last week, yeah.
When y'all play Georgia, it's always before Halloween.
Yeah, it's always So I was about to say 30th, 29th, 30th. Whenever it is, they'll have one loss. We'll have one loss. And then more than likely, whoever wins, obviously, is going to go to the SEC championship. But like you said, I don't know. I said it last week. We both kind of said it last week. We don't know if they were there yet to keep up with the Aggies offense and if they would be able to, be in the game. We thought it could, or at least I thought it could get ugly kind of quick. I didn't think they was up to the challenge, but I guess they showed that they were, especially defensively. I know a lot of guys had big games on that side of the ball, was able to stop the Aggies, high power offense and everything. But, this, like you just said, this weekend, this team is just a whole nother beast. Georgia, obviously, they're the top program. They have wide receivers, they got running backs, they got everybody, and now they're getting back healthy. So it's looking like, there's a lot of weapons that they're going to have to account for. I don't know. Obviously, like I said, they're not on the same level as the Aggies, but again, it's still going to come down to play calling for Georgia because, as they're getting playmakers back in the receiving game, they're starting to expand their playbook a little bit more. Obviously, they scored 62 points this past week, so I can't say that they've been conservative with their play calling. But like I said, I just don't know if Arkansas is up. It's going to be me second week saying in a row. I don't know if they're up for a challenge. Georgia, number 2 ranked school in the country. This is 2 weeks in a row they've scored over 50, I want to say. So
Ooh,
it's definitely going to
UAB
be.
and Vandy.
You said what?
When they play, yeah, UAB and
Yeah,
Vandy.
Vandy. Yeah, but I mean, UAV and Vandy, but still, obviously, 62 points is nothing to bat an eye at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a decent game. I think it'll be a close game maybe in the beginning. I think eventually Georgia will start to run away with it. Just how college football games are. They'll start to, big brother Arkansas, and it'll be over from there. But I think it'll be close early on, but they'll just run away with it in the end. But obviously, I'm hoping for the opposite because I would never root for the Georgia Bulldogs. But I guess I have to go with them winning this one in this matchup. But
Yeah, you know what it is. They're I feel like besides Bama, I think they're the only team that people have up there with Bama. Nobody's up. Bama's by themselves, but Georgia's the closest team to Bama.
Exactly. Yeah. And at this point in the season, I was at this point in the season, like all the top teams, which we'll talk about later, have struggled and probably won't, find their footing this year at least. But next squad that we got, Alabama versus Ole Miss, like you said, top dogs in the college football world right now. But Ole Miss has had a really, really good season. A lot of people like Matt Corral, and their offense. They think that they possibly have a chance to, at least be in the game with them this upcoming week. But what do you think?
Shout out to Walker. I think that Ole Miss. I was already on the train before he even was talking about him. I was a fan of Matt Corral and Lane Kiffin. Their offense last year, they were pretty decent. They didn't win games. They put up points, but they couldn't stop anybody. That's Ole Miss. So. But this year I have a different feeling. I know they haven't played too many crazy teams. But Matt Corral's, the Heisman favorite. He's crept up on people. He hasn't thrown a pick this season. He has 9 passing touchdowns. And his favorite target, Dontario Drummond, they've been pretty good this year. But I don't know. It's tough. They're in Tuscaloosa. If they were in Oxford, Mississippi, I think that they have a better chance.
Yeah.
But they did it when they had Chad Kelly and Treadwell. But I don't know, man.
That seems like
we hype these games up, and then Bama wins 42-7. Like I don't know, but this year Matt Corral, I feel like it's tough because I want to say that they put on the show and they keep up. They put up points and keep up with Bama, but I really don't think that will be the case. But I'm going to give Ole Miss a little respect. I think they put up some points, but they're not. Matt Corral had his first couple of turnovers of the season, and they lose 42-24.
42-24.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very possible.
It's hard because it's in Tuscaloosa. Like I just don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's in Alabama. And once they say they get the ball first and they score first, that crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be ridiculous. Like you said, I think their offense will be able to put up a little bit of points. I mean, my Florida Gators offense was able to put up some points eventually. They were able to find some success. And people after the game was like, oh, they found Alabama's defense is as good as we thought. They found some holes in their game. Like, all this other crazy stuff, but no, it's still Alabama. They're still a great defense. Obviously, probably top 5, top 10 will be at the end of the year as well. So I don't think they're just gonna let them go crazy. Even though Matt Corral is having a really good beginning of the season, but then it comes down defensively. Can you stop Alabama's weapons? Like Bryce Young has played really, really well, even in high pressure situations this year. Their receiving core is ridiculous. Their running back core, they turn them in and out. They got 2, 3 deep. So like you said, I think respect wise, I think maybe it's the same thing as Georgia, Arkansas. Maybe they're in the game early, at least for the first half, maybe a little bit into the third quarter, and then Alabama just gonna do what Alabama does and kind of run away with it. But like you said, it really could be either way. It could be a close game to the end, or it could just be one of these games that we're hyping up. It's a primetime game, and then they end up getting blown out, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, and we're just like, oh man. But that's what Alabama does to other opponents. It's just really nothing you can do about it. But who knows? Definitely looking forward to a good game because, like I said, just another top 12 matchup, and 2 high power offenses that's going to be going against each other. And I guess whoever's defense is up for the task is going to eventually prevail in this one.
I agree. Last thing I want to say before we move on. Do you feel like Matt Corral was a better college quarterback like at this point than Chad Kelly? Because he was able to pull it off. He did it in Tuscaloosa, and he did it during the night game. So I feel like Matt Corral's in a better position because of his coach, his play caller. I mean, Hugh Freeze is not a bad coach, but Lane Kiffin, I think, is in a different element as an offensive mind. So.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's probably a difference right there. The offensive minds as heading the two different quarterbacks. And obviously, I think it's Matt Corral. I guess he has like I said, a little bit more into his game. I mean, Chad Kelly wasn't really. I don't know. Chad Kelly. He was just
He was good though.
I
think
would say he was good in a lot of games, especially in that 1 year. In that 1 year, like you said, we had Treadwell and a few of those guys. It's weird how they all fell off, but
he was off the his problem was off the field. I think on the field he was good.
Yeah, I was about to say Treadwell because we went top. He went to Vikings, right?
Who the Treadwell? Yeah, he was. I think he was a first round pick, but he
definitely was a first round pick
completely.
Yeah, I know. We had him on our team last year. He caught one touchdown pass.
Yeah, he was with us. I think he was on our practice. He was with us during training camp. Yeah.
Damn, he was everywhere then.
I think he's still with us. Honestly, I need to look that up, but I don't look too much.
He got to be on the practice squad.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think like I said, Matt Corral is definitely in a better position offensively to succeed more, but I just don't see that type of repeat happening. Yeah, in my opinion. But next game we got Cincinnati, Notre Dame to one doesn't have a conference, and the other one is lower FCS school. But Cincinnati, Notre Dame, number 7 versus number 9. What do you think about this matchup?
In my opinion, this is Cincinnati's first test of the year. They're undefeated. They played Indiana, but Indiana is not what we thought they would be coming into the season. You know, a lot of people thought their quarterback was going to be highly touted draft prospect, and that's not the case at the moment.
Saw that.
So it's the first test of the season. Desmond Ritter, he's trying to make his draft stock go up. This is a game, everybody's going to have their eyes on. Top 10 matchup on NBC, 2:30. I know people are going to be watching the Bama game, but they're going to tune in to this one for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just think I think it's going to be a good game because some people say Notre Dame's better this year, but I think in years past they're better than they are right now. Them having that close game of Florida State, people were like, Florida State's back. No, they're not. They're trash. They've played well. They had a close game versus Toledo, a rough game versus Purdue, and then last week, my fault. Last week they blew out Wisconsin. Well, not blew out. It was close early, but those pick sixes at the end, made the game get blown out of proportion. But I don't think this Notre Dame team is as good as in years past, and for that reason, I think that Cincinnati will keep the game close. But I think in the end, Notre Dame will pull it out, but it'll be like off a walk-off field goal, 28-31 or 29-28, something like that. But
they always figure out a way to pull out a win. Something just goes their way at some point in the game, towards the end of the game, mostly, and then they just somehow end up pulling out a win.
People don't give Brian Kelly as much credit, I think. I think he's turned the program around, and they're pretty consistent. They're not winning the Natty, but Notre Dame was never like this. I don't think so. They were pretty decent back in the day when they had Golden Tate and Brady Quinn.
Yeah, that was
But not like this. Every year they're 10-2 minimum pretty much now, or maybe undefeated. But I think like you said, they'll find a way to win. Desmond Ritter will play well. Cincinnati's a good program, as they showed last year in their bowl game versus Georgia. But I don't think they take that step yet to be the top tier program.
Yeah, no, I'm still on the train. I just hope somebody ends up being Notre Dame because I don't want to see them like close to the college playoff, like picture or talk or any of that. But I honestly think last year was their best chance, or one of their better teams in the last few years, in my opinion. Like I really liked their team last year, but obviously they got to the playoffs and stunk it up again. This year, they found ways to win. These last few weeks, they've gotten better, on both sides of the ball to where, like I said, they're more so dominating the opponents that we figured that they would. Like I said, the first game of the year was, just up in the air, just expecting them. They could have went either way. Like I said, we thought FSU was back, but no, it hasn't been like that since week 1. Week 1 was probably the guys' best game / best chance at really, I guess a win in the next few weeks. But all in all, the ACC has been trashed this entire year. But that's another conversation. I think it's going to be another good game. Like I said, it's definitely Cincinnati's first test. Notre Dame has played a few quality opponents, or at least some names. I don't know if they're quality opponents, but at least names. Like I said, Wisconsin, Florida State, some other teams. But I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing with them. They're going to find a way to win. It's going to be another close game. Definitely back and forth. I don't really see anyone pulling out, any type of, big leads, 10-14, nothing like that. So hopefully they lose, but I guess if I had to choose, I would go with Notre Dame. Like I said, in a close one, probably a last-second field goal or with 30-40 seconds left in the game. So
I think it's going to be a good one. A lot of 3 top 10 matchups, but a lot of good matchups overall, I think.
Yeah. I would say a lot of good matches overall. Hopefully, like I said, we ain't talking about my Gators enough on the show, but play
No,
Kentucky. I don't think we really need to until we get to
they're
Georgia
undefeated though,
anyway.
so they might give y'all a little game. It's a lot of little sneaky games. Like
Yeah.
Auburn is ranked, but they almost got beat by Georgia State. They play
Mm-hmm.
LSU. We got Boston College and Clemson. Boston
Yeah.
College is undefeated. Baylor and Oklahoma State. So there's
Yeah.
some good games out there.
Definitely some good games. Good slate of games. Can't wait to catch them because it's on Saturday. Hopefully, like I said, they don't disappoint, especially the ones that we've just covered. But
Ohio State might be on upset alert versus Rutgers, Mo and Jeff.
yep, that's it. Well, that's you kind of segue into the next thing we probably going to be talking about. Like I said, some of these big name schools that we normally would be talking about, we ain't talking about them we ain't been talking about them these last few weeks, and obviously for a reason. One of them, like you said, being Ohio State. I know we talked about them last week, of course, like with their quarterback controversy. I don't know if McCord looked, head and shoulders above what we saw from I don't know why his name Stroud. I don't know if he looked any head and shoulders above and better than him. But they did come out with the win. But of course, like I said, 2 top programs that we typically would be talking about. Ohio State's one that we didn't talk about, the other one being Clemson, of course. So part of our something or nothing this week, wanted to ask you, Clemson's ranked 25. I forgot who they played this week, but we haven't seen them ranked 25 in a while. Are their days as a powerhouse program over?
I think this is nothing. A lot of people will think this is something.
Yeah.
Dabo will continue to get high-rated recruits. I think a lot of top teams are struggling this year. A lot of teams are losing, having close games. It's just I don't know what it is. This season's a little different, and I think it's not being blown out of proportion. But Clemson's struggling like they haven't in years. They've been pretty dominant, but it's every now and then teams fall off. Maybe they lost the offensive coach. I think it was Tony Elliott or somebody that went to USF. I think it was Tony Elliott. It might have been somebody else, but they lost the coach and they might have not replaced him with the right guy. I really can't. I don't know what it is. DJU hasn't played as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad they haven't given up on him yet. Stuff takes time. Just like with the CJ Stroud situation, I'm surprised people aren't calling for his job in Clemson because, if he was playing for Ohio State, they might have – some fans might have tried to take him off the field themselves. So I don't know what it is. They're struggling. That loss versus NC State didn't look too well. It was a good game, but Boston College is undefeated this week, and they could potentially be 2-3. So, if we were to ask this question next week, if they lose next week, I might say this is something, because this is not normal. But I'm willing to give it some time. People have bumps in the road, and their schedule's favorable down the line. So I don't think they'll slip up too much.
Yeah.
But as of now, I think it's nothing. I'm not going to panic just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, like I said, nothing in the moment. At least for future causes. Like if we're talking about their days as a powerhouse program over, then it's definitely nothing. I don't think, they're gonna retool, they're gonna reload, they're gonna figure things out and get better next year. I think for sure. But this year, I don't know. Obviously, it's something like you said. It just hasn't been the same. Like. It was what was the score against Georgia Tech? Like
they barely won. I think
11?
They won by a touchdown. I'd say they won by a touchdown.
It was something crazy. Like
8-14.
Yeah, 8-14. I was like, what is going on? And I think it was really like 0-0 for a long time in the game.
Yeah, they had a rain delay. It was an ugly game.
Yeah, it was definitely ugly. I mean, I guess I can't put it totally on them, but it's like you don't typically see Georgia Tech in like real close games like that. But I mean, they did blow out UNC last week, even though UNC is really overhyped and overrated this year. But maybe Georgia Tech is a little bit different than I'm thinking that they are from when I've seen from them in person. But yeah, like I said, it's just definitely something different going on in Tiger Nation over there. Like you said, DJ definitely hasn't been the quarterback we thought. I know we only got a small sample size of him last year, but in that small sample size, it was a big game. And, we thought that type of, with him having a full year, learning the system, being the guy, knowing he's coming in as the starter, that he would come out and play and perform a little bit better than he has. But all in all, the whole team really hasn't played that up to par. Like the defense hasn't really been what we normally see from Clemson defenses. Like they've kind of been a shell of themselves. Like they got names, they got guys out there, but just nothing we're normally used to seeing. Justin Ross is kind of, I don't know if that's on play calling or if it's on DJ not really being or playing as well as we thought he would. But, he hasn't shown up as much. I think last week he had 2 touchdowns. But outside of that, the first few games, he hasn't really, been on the field. Like, I wouldn't even know he was still there if, he didn't catch 2 touchdowns last week. But I don't know. I guess same thing as you. I'm going to say is nothing for the future for sure. I think it's a little bit of something right now just because, like I said, we're not talking about them. More likely their playoff chances are done and over with. Don't know what bowl game they may play in, but it's definitely something for this year just because we wasn't expecting this type of result, but nothing for the future. Like they're obviously easily going to retool. They're still top program, top recruits. Everybody's going to go there. It probably won't even be a story or a thought next year, honestly. Like this will all be forgotten. Like, yes, it's a very, very bad and down year. They're winning ugly. They're losing ugly, but all in all, I don't think it's going to be nothing. Dabo's still decent coach. Recruits are going to want to go there. They're going to want to play for that school, big name school, ACC. And then typically, like I say, next year, as long as you take care of business, like I don't really know what out of conference game they've scheduled for next year. Like obviously, we saw they played Georgia early on this year, but you take care of the ACC, you're right back into national championship talking contention. So they should be all good.
Most definitely, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. Next, of course. Oh, got a different one up there, but we'll go back to that one. Next thing, we're going to switch over to NFL, but still talking a little bit of something or nothing. Kansas City, 1-2. Wasn't really expecting that either. Obviously, their defense, we already know their defense has just been okay. They've been a middle-of-the-road defense, but offensively, I won't say they've struggled, but they haven't been like that high-power offense that we're typically normally seeing. Like teams are being able to match them point for point, as we saw with Baltimore and with the Chargers last week. But they're 1-2, at the bottom of their standings in the AFC West. Are they in trouble at all this year?
Nothing at all. I'm not going to overreact. They're still my Super Bowl favorite. Their defense has always been bad since Mahomes has been there. Even when Alex Smith was there, they weren't the best. But no, they've always been bad. They'll get it together. And the offense, you're correct about that. Defenses, they haven't figured them out, but they've started slower. Like they started down 7. I think it was 14-0. I was going to say 17, but 14 for sure.
Yeah.
They were behind in the Cleveland game. The Baltimore game, they stayed ahead, but teams have been able to slow them down, but they get back on track in the blink of an eye. Like you turn away from the TV and the game's tied.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be able to get it together. The defense has always been bad, but they'll be able to force a little more timely turnovers. I think Chris Jones and Frank Clark got to step up. Those are their 2 other best players besides Honey Badger, and I think they got to make a bigger impact. But I think they'll be fine. I'm not overreacting to this. They're still gonna be one of the top dogs in their division and in the conference when the season's over with.
Yeah.
And I hope people aren't overreacting about them being in last place through week 3. Like, come on, bro. They're one game behind.
Yeah.
LA, and all that. But yeah.
Yeah. They knew guys said what Raiders are 3-0, but that's not gonna last long. They'll eventually slip up. I know they start off hot each year, but one of their losses is definitely coming in in the next few weeks. But same here. I'm gonna say nothing too. Like you say, we're not typically used to seeing them or at least in the last 2 years, lose 2 games within their first 3. But this year they did have a tougher schedule, and I think teams in their conference did get a little better. Chargers I think got a little better. Raiders obviously, like I said, name-wise, they didn't really add much, but they did what they needed to do in order to improve that team. And I guess it looks, well, I won't even say that. I won't go as far as say that. I'll just forget that. But they are looking a little bit better. Derek Carr is looking pretty good. Their offense is, okay enough to win games and pull out games. But all in all, I think their schedule was a little bit tougher this year anyway. I was expecting, I think we had 3 or 4 losses anyway. Maybe they're just getting them out the way early.
I had 3. Yeah, I had 3.
I might have had 3 too then. I don't think I had more than.
But
I didn't have more than 4.
I know, trust me, we didn't disrespect them like that. So the good thing is, Chargers was one of those losses, so I can just flip it. I had them losing to the Chargers on the road, but they'll get them back in LA, so I'm sure.
Exactly. So, it's nothing for sure. They'll definitely be right. They'll probably more likely win the AFC West, be 1-2 seed, possibly in the AFC conference as a whole. But it's nothing at the moment. I think they have enough dogs in that locker room, love veteran leadership, and obviously a good head coach, Andy Reid, to get them back on track and have this be not even a conversation in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Like I said, the next 2 or 3 weeks will probably run the tables, and they'll be 3-2, 4-2. So definitely nothing to worry about, nothing to fret. Obviously, like I said, offense, they've been able, teams, like you just said, teams have been able to slow them down a little bit offensively, but you can only slow them down for so much. But Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, all of them gonna get back on track. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah, there you go. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's starting to look like a little bit better in the backfield, starting to run the ball a little bit better. So definitely don't sleep on him. And obviously Patrick Mahomes, still the best quarterback in the game. Not gonna bet against him. I think he'll definitely have these guys, back on track within the next few weeks anyway. So no trouble at all. But I think a lot of people just want to make it a thing. Definitely saw, my Falcons people, Falcons Nation talking about, we're 1-2 too. I know it was a joke. We're 1-2 as well. We're Super Bowl bound just like them. So
you gotta start with a bull, bro. Please.
Oh man. But next, of course, we got the two guys to our left, or my left, or right, but on the left of the screen, returning to face their old head coach, Bill Belichick. I think it's Brady and Gronk's return back to New England. I think they played him last year, but I think it was in Tampa. But a lot of people have been making this a big deal. I don't know if you saw or not. I don't know what show I was watching for a quick second on ESPN, but they basically was saying like Tom Brady wanted to meet Belichick face to face and tell him goodbye or whatever, and Belichick basically said like nah, and requested like a phone call. So I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that was a little funny, a little crazy to think about as well. But something or nothing, just his return as a whole. A lot of people have been saying, and they're coming off a loss. They're saying that he's going to go in there and rip them to shreds. And there's also been the conversation, of course, was it more Belichick? Was it more Brady? And a lot of people have been saying, of course, Tom Brady's not losing to no rookie quarterback. So just something or nothing about Brady and Gronk's return. Do you, one, think those rumors were true? And two, do you think anything, big would come with this? Do you think they'll, hug it out, shake hands in the middle of the field, or they're going to avoid each other?
I do think the rumors are true. I think it's something. This game is. I've been waiting for it. I know everybody else is going to be tuned in. It like Brady. They had the biggest dynasty in NFL history. They played together for how many years? 21 or 20 years? I think I say 20 on the dot because this is year 22. I think for him. Yeah. 20 years on the dot. They accomplished a lot together, and the way it ended was pretty sour. So. It's something. Everybody's going to – literally every football fan is going to watch this game. I don't think they had to make it Sunday night. They had to make it prime time. But it's gonna be something, a great game. And I do think they're going to – Brady's going to keep it classy. He might talk his mess during the game, but, after the game's over, they're going to shake it up at the 50. But it's definitely something, a lot riding on this game. A little bit for Gronk. He kind of didn't want to play with Belichick. That's what it made it seem like. He retired and then came back once Brady left. So it's something, Bill, I know Bill wants to lock him up. Like, I know he wants Brady to go 15 for 35 for 155 and 4 picks, like a horrendous game. And I think they'll show up to play. People talking about the Bucs going to blow them out. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But Brady, on the other end, Brady wants to throw for 400, and I know he wants to throw Gronk 1 or 2 tutties. So it's going to be a good game. Everybody's going to be tuned in, and it's definitely something. A lot riding on this game, a lot of pride. And, they both want to prove they can do it without each other. Brady already did it. Belichick, I think eventually he'll be able to do it. I think he's still a great coach. Like, I don't want to take any credit. It was just Tom. I don't think he would have got all those rings with Tom. Yeah. I mean, without Tom, but I don't think Tom would have got all those rings without him. So I don't know. It's a lot of pride on the line, and I can't wait to watch the game. So it is definitely something, though, 100%.
Definitely. It's like you said, it's really just, like you said, a pride thing. Like, even that, like him not wanting to see him face to face at the, whenever he requested to see him face to face, that's, pretty funny. Like you said, a pride thing as well. But it's crazy that would even be a thing, too, because, like, Belichick, I don't know. The rumors was always that Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo to be Brady's successor, but obviously, Kraft axed that and sent him out to San Francisco. But we say being that Brady left, it's like I don't know why he would even have any type of hard feelings. I mean, obviously I see why he have hard feelings, but I don't see why he wouldn't want to see him like face to face, whatever. If like he was trying to get him out anyway, like not get him out, but just like I don't know. I guess for him be more set up for success when Tom did leave or retire. I guess he figured he was gonna retire. I don't know, but definitely a lot of pride, a lot of personalities, a lot, just into this whole matchup. Like I said, everyone's gonna be tuned in. It's gonna be fun to watch. But I don't think they're gonna blow them out either. I think it's gonna be a really good game and I won't say really close game, but I think it's gonna be a really good game, especially in stretches. I guess I can ask something or nothing too about the signing of Richard Sherman. Everybody was saying it's funny. It's like he lose one time, then he go out recruiting, and obviously it showed and it worked. I mean, they did need secondary help. A lot of their guys are hurt, and I think on the I forgot who caught the touchdown. It might have been Deshaun Jackson. Somebody caught the touchdown, but they panned over to Brady. And he just throws his head back, and I knew right in that moment in his head, he's like he's about to go and try to get somebody to come, whatever. And I knew Richard Sherman was available because I wanted my Falcons to bring him in after AJ Terrell got a concussion, and I thought he'd be out some weeks. But I was like, he's gonna go out and get somebody, and Lord and behold, it was Richard Sherman. But like I said, their secondary definitely needs some help. Obviously, their front seven is still greatly intact. Offensively, they've played really well this year, but and it even shows with my Falcons. It's like they only really offensively, they only scored 28 technically points on the Falcons. If it wasn't for our punter shanking punts, I really think we could have held them to 21. But like I said, you typically don't see high power offenses like that get held that low of that low scoring. And the Patriots defense is head and shoulders way better than the Falcons defense, and a lot of other defenses I think they faced this early season, besides maybe the Rams. So I think it'll be a close game. I think defensively, obviously, Bill will have some type of strategy for Brady and the weapons that he has around him. And all it really has to do is put it together offensively with Mac Jones. I don't know really how, because the last few weeks they haven't really looked that great on that side of the ball. But I know he'll have a plan some way somehow. To stop him. Like I say, it's just really going to come down offensively. Are they going to be able to put up points against them in their defense? So. But Richard Sherman, like I said, something or nothing for you. Do you think he's going to be a big impact signing? Does he even play this week? I don't even know if he'll even play this week.
I
think he said he's ready to suit up, but I don't know.
Yeah, I saw something that said he needed a week or two. I know he would be working out and being in shape, but I don't know if he's in football shape. There's a difference between running in the grass and by yourself than being out there at practice. But yeah. I kind of think it's something. I don't think he'll make the biggest impact. He's like, 33 or 34 now. He's older, past his prime, all that. But their secondary was last in the league. They're pretty bad at the moment. And Sean Murphy Bunting won't be back till midseason with the dislocated elbow. So kind of wanted to make a move. And, Tom Brady was probably in his ear saying, we can make a run. You could get another Super Bowl appearance or another ring. Hopefully, he was telling him a ring, but hopefully another Super Bowl appearance to add to his Hall of Fame resume. So, it's in the middle. I'd say it's something, though. I think he'll help, but I don't know what Sherman's – I'd have to see a game or two really to know. But I think Sherman will be okay, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean –
he's older, though.
That's what I say. That's the thing. I don't know. But he did – I mean, last time we did see him in San Francisco, he did play decent. He played okay for his age. He still had a lot of, or showed he had a lot left in the tank, but that was a year ago. He's had a lot going on this offseason. And like you say, he's probably obviously worked out, kept his, body in shape, but obviously not up to gain speed, especially guys that's been what we're about to be in week 4. Like he's coming in week 5, week 6. That's it's going to definitely be a big adjustment. But I think, like you said, it definitely helps. Better than having your third string corner out there, in my opinion. So,
I agree.
But last thing, something or nothing, kind of want to hit on. Obviously not football related, but been a lot of talk about it. I'm honestly tired of seeing it, but definitely had to include it in the show just to get your take on it. But something or nothing, just NBA players not getting vaccinated. Obviously, like I said, they're exposing their reasons. I kind of agree with Mo, in a sense, kind of I feel like obviously it's the reporter's job to do their job. They're gonna ask the questions. They're gonna want to know, get the story, get the inside, or if they're vaccinated or not, are they going to get vaccinated, whatever the case may be. But I feel like they only have to or are obligated to, to expose that information to their employer. Like, I feel like a lot of this is getting blown out of proportion. I would obviously, I'm vaccinated. I know you are too, but it's their, in a sense, their choice. Like, yes, some people may see it as irresponsible, but it's not you. It's not your body. It's not your money. It's not your anything. Like, that's they're their own person. They're, doing what's best for them, best for their family, what they feel like is right or wrong, even though some of their information, some of the things that they've said, it's a little, confusing. But all in all, I think it's, everybody's, right for their own decision, for their own body, to do what they want to do. Yes, of course, they're going to miss games. It's going to hurt the team. It's possibly irresponsible because, I know they've gotten, or at least Bradley Bill's gotten COVID, but, it's possible they can get it again. But like, people that have had the vaccine have gotten it as well, for whatever reason. It's not obviously fully 100%, effective. It's like 99, 98%. So I don't know. I just think it's getting blown out of proportion. I think it definitely should be something that is left alone, and people shouldn't be attacking them and calling them, such and such words for this type of situation when there's other situations where they're trying to. It just seems like there's a certain group who is always trying to dictate what other people should do with their bodies and what they, their health reasons or whatever the case may be. But something or nothing about some of these players not getting vaccinated. I guess that isn't the question. It's definitely something for the season. Like, obviously, it's already been said, if their states have mandates, they can't, or if certain states have mandates, they can't play in those games, with, like, say, away games or whatever the case may be. But, they're going to obviously miss some games. They're going to miss some money. So it's definitely something to their pockets and to the team. But what do you think it is? Something or nothing, just overall?
Overall, I'd say it's something. I wanted to be 50-50, but I think it's something first because Kyrie would miss half the games on the season. Yeah. He missed 41 games because he couldn't play home games.
Yeah.
And that would be, that's why his trade value is at 0 according to people. And it's just kind of getting in the way. He was injured last year. Now he'd be missing half the games. It's a distraction.
Yeah. And they say if he gets traded, he's gonna retire. I don't know if that was true or not, but that's pretty funny.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants him right now with the way. I'm not saying with the way he's acting. He's entitled to his own opinion about the vaccine, but just messing up the camaraderie of the team. They'd never be able to get in the flow. They only played 14 games together last year, so it's pretty tough. And for Bradley Beal, I mean, it's kind of nothing. I agree with Mo in a way. I'm vaccinated. I made the choice, but it's other people's choices too. If they don't want to put that in their body, it's fine. If they believe what they believe, let them do that. But if they're distracting the team or getting in the way of, the success of the team, I think it's something. But it's something because Kyrie will miss games and it'll be a distraction in a way, but it's kind of nothing at the same time. But, people can make their own decisions about their body, like you said. It is what it is. COVID affects people differently. I've been out sometimes, to where I could have gotten COVID, but I've never, since the virus has been going around, I've never felt like I had COVID. And since I've had the vaccine, I've never had any symptoms, anything that made me second guess getting the vaccine. So, to each their own with this situation. I respect other people's opinions because it's like you said, it's their body. We're not them. We don't make decisions for them at the end of the day. So
everybody should be able to govern themselves at least.
Yeah.
So I mean, all in all, who knows if come season time? Because I mean, even the NBA is not like the NFL. Like, they're not mandating them to. Obviously, they put in place in rules like what's going to happen if you don't. Like you said, like they're going to miss certain games, certain places. They're going to miss out on money, but they're not mandating them to. To have it, which I feel like is good, at least a good first step. Because like I said, the NFL it was a little different, like coming into the season, with certain players and what happened. I know a few, especially lower level players, got fined. That first fine hit, and they're like, oh yeah, let me go get vaccinated because they weren't trying to lose out on that money that they had already lost out on that first check. So I don't know. Definitely, so it's definitely getting away. Like I said, even with the Kyrie situation, I don't think they trade him, but it's definitely going to be a sticky situation in Brooklyn. Obviously, with Bradley Beal, it's a little bit different. Franchise player, he still has a bunch of years on the book, but I don't know. Definitely a weird situation. But one thing I do agree on, or we both agree on, is everybody should be able to make choices for themselves. So, but that does it for something or nothing this week. Like I said, had to segue a little bit off topic, but wanted to talk about that for sure. Next thing, of course, we're gonna hop into our NFL talk. Want to definitely hit on before we get into the regular, games that's on slate. Big games, big matchups. NFL Week 4, do our pick'ems or whatever. Always gotta show love to Jeff. Definitely want to show his rankings. And last week he said definitely gotta see a side by side view. And this week I got it. Week 3 is on the left. Week 4 is on the right. Few changes here and there. But overall, from first glance, and that's probably gonna take us a second. What are your thoughts on the NFL power rankings for Week 4?
They're all right. I have some different opinions, but I like it. Like you said, Jeff does a great job. I like the Rams at number 1. I vehemently disagree with the Chiefs at number 11. I feel like that's a bit of an overreaction. I know they're 1-2, but I mean they're 1-2, so that's the highest rated 1-2 team out there. So actually, I take that back. I like the dropping of the football team. They haven't looked well. That defense hasn't looked as advertised. I like the Broncos at 16. They steadily keep moving up. Even though they're not beating quality teams, they're playing good football, not turning the ball over, and their defense is looking right, in my opinion. And the Cowboys at 6, I think is a little bit of overreaction. That defense is playing well. That they're forcing turnovers. The offense is looking good with that balanced attack. They're actually looking really well. I would like to see them play some other teams.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The Bucks. I think Bucks.
I mean, me saying that is dragging it, and they beat the Chargers, who just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But them blowing out the Eagles, I don't think the Eagles are good. They're coming back down to earth after beating your Falcons. I'm sorry to say it, but
that is true. We all coming anyway.
Yeah, overall, I like the I do like the rankings. They're not bad. I'm looking for some. Okay, I see it. Yeah, everything is good so far. The Rams are number 1, the Bucks at 2. Bills are playing better football for sure. But as of now, I have nothing to say. But I do think we're the worst team in football right now. But I can't complain about the Jets being lower than us because I think
they've looked a lot worse than y'all.
Yeah, they haven't led in any game this season, and I do think we'll talk about it later. But we've been getting better every week, in my opinion. So
actually, the next thing we'll talk about. But you guys have been getting better. I'd like you said, the one thing I like is definitely the Broncos moving up slowly but surely. Like I know at a point they were definitely in the. He changes the categories each and every week, but I know they were in like the last category, the last like 8 teams. But now they seem to move all the way up to 0 worries. Like you said, they've been playing solid football on both sides of the ball. Defense has been playing really, really good. Teddy Bridgewater has done what Teddy Bridgewater typically does for teams, and he takes care of the ball, finds the right guy to get the ball, and they have a lot of good weapons on that side of the ball as well. Even with Jerry Jeudy out, Corey Sutton stepped up, Tim Patrick, Gordon's played pretty well. So definitely like them at 16 and continuing to move up. I like I said, some of the move backs, like the football team, they definitely haven't looked well at all. Defensively, like you said, that front seven, that's the best part of the defense. And even they haven't looked the greatest, like what we expected them to look like. I had to drop them in fantasy this past week. They got -3 points for me. Like I said, you can't get 41 points put up on you. Even though, like I said, they're the Bills, but still, it's like, can't get 41 points put up on you, bro.
Yeah, nah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah. And so I'm talking like, well, I'm saying it as if my Falcons didn't let the Bucs score 42, but 2 of them were picks. That's why I'm saying it really wasn't the defense. It was 2 short field picks, 6s. But yeah, like you said, Cowboys 2 at 6. I don't know if I'm just a Cowboys hater or what, but I feel like that's definitely too high for them. I definitely would still have the Packers sitting in front of them. Even the 49ers, to be honest, like there's a few teams I think I possibly will move up. Like I said, maybe I'm just picking and choosing. Like I said, they're 6, 49ers are 10. But yeah, like I said, they've played okay. Like the games, Monday night against the Eagles, like I said, that's kind of what was expected against an offense that has that type of high poweredness to it, and Eagles team in general. But like I said, other games, like I said, they played okay against the Chargers. It wasn't really high scoring, but the defense has, I guess, started to find their way, started to play better. I like their defense a lot. Like I think they got players. I don't like obviously. I mean, Dan Quinn's head in defense. I don't know. They just been playing okay football. I think the nod at staying in the game with the Bucks, winning the other two matchups as well. It may be the reason why they're there, but I think it's still a little too high for them. Other than that, I think everybody's kind of where they're supposed to be. Still early. Steelers, I don't know. They in trouble. Big Ben, I don't know if it's still too early for them. Like that division can easily not go their way in a split second. Like after this week, next week is possible. It might be over with. Who knows?
If he looks the same way he has like the first 3 weeks after a week or two, I'm ready to mail it in.
I forgot who said. I think Jerry said he needs to retire like mid-season. He needs to retire like now, cause I don't know. It was just a bunch of memes and videos. Like he's tripping over his own feet trying to throw the ball. Like he's just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Like he's not helping them win at all. I know it's not just him, but he's definitely not. He's not additive. He's not a factor right now.
Yeah, man, I feel bad, bro. I really do. Like Big Ben's my guy,
but what he's showing just ain't it. He said they're barely 1-2 too. I don't know. Like they really could be 0-3.
Come on, bro.
If
They're block punt away. They're a block punt away.
Exactly. They really could be 0-3. They could be in the nervous. They could be right down there with your Jags. They could be probably right in front of the Texans.
Yeah, their defense a little better, so they keep them up a little higher in the rankings. Oh yeah, one more thing. My fault, bro. The Bears, they're in the same spot, but they should be lower than the Colts. Their defense played a hell of a game on Sunday. Their offense couldn't get anything going, but as long as Matt Nagy's calling plays and, we're not going to talk about it too much, but I have my questions about Justin Fields after, looking at the stuff in the preseason. So I don't think the Bears are going to get any better right now at the moment. So I think they should be a little lower.
Dang, I honestly forgot. That was the something and nothings too. I just forgot to put it in there. But did you, before we move on to Thursday night football and talking about the Bengals and everything, do you think that Matt Nagy purposely? I mean, because we all were saying like the Browns was probably not a good first game for him anyway. Maybe I think we were saying this week 4, week 5 was a big start for
Lions.
him. Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about this situation? You think he kind of purposely did that, not through the game, but just like he didn't really help him. I mean, Justin Fields did, like looking back at some of the highlights and plays, like he did miss a few check downs and a few hot routes and stuff that he could have went to and held the ball a little too long. But do you think Matt Nagy kind of set him up for failure anyway?
I think there's no way. That's crazy, Some people said that it might have been on purpose. Dan Orlovsky did it on purpose, but I can't see that. I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he could have done better, moving when you're getting pressure constantly like that, you gotta get your quarterback on the move or throw a couple screens to slow down the pressure. But he didn't do too much of that. I think his first play action pass or his first pass where he had him on the move was after his 7th attempt. So on the first 6 attempts, he's dropping straight back. And first, that pass rush is not a recipe for success. The Bears' offensive line is awful. Justin Fields held the ball at times and, misreads. They ran a lot of quick game, and sometimes he didn't throw. He was hesitant to throw it, and they ran blitz that got to him. But on both ends, I think it was a bad performance, Matt Nagy and Justin Fields. But I don't think he would sabotage his quarterback on purpose. Does he want to lose his job? Do you want to be jobless? Like I'm pretty sure he likes his head coach money, so I don't know why he would do that. So I'm disagreeing with that. I think that's nothing. I don't think he did that on purpose. But the play calling is something. If he keeps calling plays like that, like he'll be out of a job and he'll make Justin Fields look like he's a bust.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like, a lot of people were saying like you gotta adjust the protection a little bit. Like you can't let Myles Garrett go 1-on-1. That's not a recipe for. I don't care how good your tackle is. Like typically, like eventually at some point in the game, you're gonna have to get him some type of help or something. Like he was running certain stunts inside. Offensive line just kind of looked confused. I didn't think the offensive line of the Bears was that bad, but I mean, kind of showed. But all in all, like I said, hopefully he has a better showing this week. I mean, we don't even know who's starting at quarterback this week. I forgot Matt Nagy said all 3 of them. Yeah. Like you get thrown out there against the Cleveland, and then it's like you could be possibly 3rd string quarterback. Like
that's not good for the confidence, bro, at all.
Whatsoever. But who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he throws him back out there. I think this is a perfect week for him to be out there, and I think everybody has also agreed about that as well. But moving on, Thursday night, Jags Bengals about to kick off in about an hour. Your squad, what's the preview? What's the keys to victory? Don't sound like as many keys to
I
victory.
mean, I don't. It sounds simple, but just don't turn over the ball. We've turned over the ball a lot via throwing interceptions or fumbles. I'm not one of those crazy people that wants to call my quarterback a bust. I'm willing to be patient. I watch every snap, so I've seen him get better game by game. Last week they played well. They should have won a game. They really dominated the game after that pick six. But, keys to victory is offensively for us, establishing the run game. We literally had a drive, Jelani, where we ran the ball 8 times in a row right down the Cardinals' throat, and they couldn't stop it. We literally went 75 yards in 8 plays, running the ball like Robinson, Hyde, Robinson. Couldn't stop it. So keys to victory is establishing the run game and just, limited turnovers. I think Trevor Lawrence, they're getting better play calling with the play action passing. I think they're running nice play designs, getting guys open, utilizing all our weapons, spreading the ball around well. So if we can get the run game going, the play action will be even more deadly. And on defense, we finally caused our first turnover of the season, which is terrible. We need more. And that was by our worst defensive player, Andrew Wingard. Our little safety, our little, I guess, Jim Leonard. I guess you could call him Jim Leonard. But on defense, we got to force more turnovers, and we got to get to the quarterback. Josh Allen and Chase On are two not big-time pass rushers, but they have big-time ability at the pass rusher position, and they've underperformed, especially Josh Allen after his rookie season, in my opinion. So getting to the quarterback and finally forcing those timely turnovers will be the key to victory. Joe Mixon, he's had a decent season. We just traded our corner, C.J. Henderson.
Sadly, why y'all do that?
I don't really know. We could get into that, but I don't really know too much at the moment why we did that. But it's going to be tough to, Jamar Chase is coming off a 2-touchdown game, a fast start to his rookie season after people try to, write him off after a couple of comments. But I think that the biggest thing for us is just, getting to the quarterback and causing the turnovers, and on the other side, not turning over the ball and establishing the run game. It sounds simple, but I think those are our biggest keys to victory because the Bengals don't turn over the ball that much. We can force Joe Burrow to turn over the ball, and his worst game was versus the Bears when they pressured him. So we can get to the quarterback. We can cause him to make a mistake here or there, because every quarterback's human at the end of the day. But those are the keys to victory. I'm going to go ahead and no, I'm not going to spoil. I'll wait till we do our pick'ems. But
I feel like y'all can win.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good. Why. I don't know. Me too. I feel like I'm going to go with – I mean, y'all are on the road. Y'all are 7
I don't think that matters. Cincy, they don't fill up the stands.
Yeah, but I don't think so either. It's a Thursday. But I don't know. I just feel like y'all can win this game. Like you said, last week y'all did look a lot better against the Cardinals. It's just plays here and there, like you said, turnovers, that flea flicking. I don't know what that really was. Y'all were up by 2 points? That kind of turned the tide of the game.
We were up, bro. We were up 5, but before that, we got up all the way up to the final score was 19-31. It was 19-10, so we're up 9.
Yeah. Like you said, y'all played a pretty good game last week. I think y'all got a chance tonight for sure. Like you said, it's really just taking care of the ball, and if you establish your run, just get Robinson more involved. I don't think I can't personally say I haven't really fully watched a lot of the games.
You're right.
It seems like he's either he hasn't been involved or he just hasn't performed the way he did last year. I don't know.
He only has 31 carries through 3 games, bro.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
That's not good at all.
That's not enough.
You got to feed him. And y'all got Carlos Hyde is still decent. I think he's still a decent little power back.
He's a healthy scratch, though, so it's not, that's not panning out. It is what it is, bro. But, yeah.
Well, y'all definitely got to get Robinson more touches and more involved. But, yeah, like I feel good about it. I think y'all got one. I think y'all can win one today. I think so. Like I said, I don't really got keys to victory besides the keys that you're telling me. But from what I've seen, like I said, it's really get James Robinson more involved. Defensively, like I said, create some type of pressure. And if you take care of the ball, then it should be you got this game. I mean, I don't think Cincinnati is head and shoulders above y'all. Like, yes, they got bigger names. They got some offensive weapons. Their receivers are really, really good. They got Joe Mixon. But I think you guys can hang in there for sure. At least make it a competitive game. But this week's pick'ems, overall week 3 this is how we fared. I think I won a game by a point. We can check just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I went through it. The only difference, we had a good amount of differences this past week. But it was obviously like our differences. One, like you picked the Giants, I picked the Falcons, and then like in one I picked the Seahawks and you picked the Vikings. Like we just was flip flopping games. But
yeah, I think you're finessing.
I'm finessing.
I'm just chatting, but I don't know if I told you my gut was the Saints or I actually picked the Saints.
Yeah, you kept. Yeah, I think the Saints and the Colts were. I know 2 of the games you were like they would win, but you weren't picking them.
And then I picked the 49ers, didn't I?
Yeah, you picked the 49ers. The ones that you lost, I believe, were you lost the Giants one, you lost the Packers one, you lost the Chiefs one because I lost as well. You lost the Patriots one because I lost that one as well. And
I know I picked the Bengals one for sure. I picked the Bengals.
Yeah, you picked the Bengals to win. You might be 12-4 too. Then maybe I did finesse. I'm trying to think.
Oh my God, Jelani's
Colts and Titans.
Y'all see it here first. Jelani's trying to get me. I knew.
I'm really not. No, did you pick the Colts or the Titans? Because I remember. No, I wrote all yours down. I remember.
I picked
on the iPad.
Bro, that was one of the gut picks. We'll just keep it there for now. But there's not gonna be no more guts. I'm picking what I feel.
I got it right here. You picked Bills, Cleveland, Baltimore, Cardinals, Kansas City, Pats, Giants, Bengals, Titans, Denver, Raiders, Rams, Vikings, 49ers, and Dallas. So I think you 12-4 too. Because the only teams that lost out of that was.
Yeah, I lost. Yeah, you're right. I lost the 49ers.
The only teams that lost were Pats, Giants, 49ers,
Chiefs,
and wait. I think that was it.
Wait, see, yeah, so only no, I lost. You're right, Colts. The Colts game, the Chiefs game, the Pats game.
No, but you picked the Titans though. I think you picked the Titans, as I say, yeah.
So
it's 27-21.
13-3.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I know.
You 12-4 too.
Oh wait, hold on, bro. I must be lost. Honestly, say it one more time. I lost the.
You picked the Bills, Cleveland, Baltimore, Cardinals, Kansas City, which lost.
Mm-hmm.
Pats, which lost. Giants, which lost. Oh, that was the other one. Bengals.
You're right. Yeah, there we go. 12-4.
Titans, Denver, Raiders, Rams, Vikings, 49ers. Yeah. So
12.
It was 12-4 too. So 28-21 is my fault. Gotta redo that, but still down by.
Wait, no, it's 20. Yeah,
28-20. Yeah.
We gotta.
I got 32-16. So you're still down by 4. Still down by 4 games because I lost 4 games. So still down by 4, but you're inching your way back ever so often. So you're right there, and maybe it'll happen this week because I feel like this week we're gonna have a lot of differences too.
Yes,
but
sir.
This week, of course, it's our NFL pick'ems, week 4 pick'ems. Let's get through them real quick. So on tap, of course, tonight we got Jaguars and Bengals. Who you going with?
I'm going with the hometown team. I think we've been playing better each week, and we're going to put it together for 60 minutes. And I think that Trevor Lawrence has his first turnover-free game and his first primetime performance and his first dub. So, I'm going Jags 31-28 in a nail-biter. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means. And I will say this, either we're going to win nail-biter or we're going to get blown out by 14+.
Jesus Christ. I don't know why I'm going with the Jags, too. And maybe I'm just giving the game away, but I just feel like they're gonna somehow win. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe the feeling, but I just feel like it's a primetime game, it's a Thursday game. I think Trevor Lawrence will play well. I don't think he'll turn the ball over. It's just really gonna come down to the offense. If they're able to, like I said, produce, like I said, hand the ball off to Robinson, get him involved, and defensively they're gonna be able to stop Jamar Chase and the other weapons that they got in the receiving core. But Browns, Vikings.
Hey, man, this is a tough game because the Browns have played a lot of close games against mediocre opponents, and the Vikings could very well be 3-0. So I'm going to surprise folks. I'm going with the Vikings.
Vikings. You went with them last week, and they won too. Maybe that success will continue. Chiefs, Eagles.
Come on, man.
Chiefs. Colts, Dolphins.
Colts get their first dub. Tua isn't playing yet. Jacoby Brissett. I know it's a revenge game, but I'm sorry. They're gonna show that they let you go for a reason, my boy.
I mean, he played pretty good against the Raiders.
Hey man, but they didn't get it done, and the Colts have they're on 3. They're not going on 4 at home. Nah, not digging that. No, my fault. It's in Miami.
Yeah,
Still got the Colts pulling out their first dub. If they go on 4, their season's over.
yeah. Giants Saints.
Mm. Tough one. Saints first game back at home. I think they're finally back home for good.
Yeah, they ain't
So
been
yeah, I'm
home.
going Saints. I'm going Saints. Giants they've led in every game this year, but they struggle to close games, and they're not
Yeah,
going to
they
close
weird.
every week.
My first time really was watching them obviously when they played our team. It's like I felt like at any it's rare that you feel that way about a Falcons team, but I felt like at any moment I was like, all right, we can win this game. We're probably gonna win this game. We're going eventually we'll take off. Something's gonna happen, but they're not gonna win.
Yeah.
They're not gonna just outright win this game. But they're definitely a weird squad. It feels like they have a lot of talent on defense. I don't know why they're not as good as they're supposed to be. But Lions, Bears.
Bears. Oh man, hold on, man. I'm sorry. Let me slow down because the Lions. Every team we disrespected, like the Lions and the Texans, they play better than expected. They really
Yeah.
like Justin Tucker wasn't that guy. They'd be 1-2 right now. But I think I don't know who's gonna start at quarterback. It's hard to like,
Even pick, yeah.
man. It's in Chicago. I'm going with the Bears. Their defense is gonna play well. Cost turnovers. I'm
Yeah.
going with the Bears.
I was about to say all hell gonna break loose if they lose against the Lions at home. Panthers, Cowboys. That's gonna be a good one.
It's in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Sam Darnold. I'm on your train, bro. But the Cowboys playing good defensively. You lost CMC. I think you got a better play caller, better surrounding, but your main target is gone in CMC, and I think they get their first loss. The Cowboys are playing pretty good. I'm not ready to hop on the train, but they're playing better than years past for sure.
Texans, Bills.
Bills,
Titans, Jets.
Titans, not even close. I hate to say it. I know it's probably it's in New York. The Jets will play better, more inspired at home, but nah, they don't want to tackle Derrick Henry.
Big matchup, Cardinals, Rams.
Matchup of the undefeated teams. I think the Rams keep rolling. They're at home. I know, yeah, it's in LA. I just think right now the Rams are playing. Sean McVay finally has his quarterback to where he can just open up the playbook and say, "You pick what you want to call. We can run it." I think he can hit their offense is just taken to a new level as we see. And I think the Rams will continue to roll.
Yeah, I feel that as well. That's what I'm going with. Seahawks, 49ers.
Bro, why do they do this? Like the Seahawks are 1-2, but we know they're not sweet by any means. And if you watched that game last week with the Vikings, like the Vikings just got on a roll. They couldn't be stopped from like midway through the second quarter. They just kept scoring. But man, like San Francisco could be undefeated too.
Yeah, they really could.
I
Literally
think
37 seconds away.
I think they panic a little bit in San Fran. I'm going Seahawks to make the San Fran go 2-2.
Ravens, Broncos, another good one too.
Yeah, and it's in Denver too.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens haven't, they came off. I think they weren't, they're underestimating the Lions because they just beat the Chiefs, their kryptonite. But I think that they finally come back down to earth, and I think that the Broncos win this game. Let me stop.
Oh, you do?
I think the Broncos win this game. Yeah. I think, Teddy's not going to turn over the ball. The Ravens are not depleted defensively, but missing a lot of defensive pieces, and they won't, I don't think that they'll be able to overcome some late heroics, a fumble by what's his name, Edwards-Helaire or a Justin Tucker kick, and I think the Broncos will win it.
Yeah. Steelers, Packers.
Steelers are trending downwards quickly, but I think they'll play better this week, but they still won't get the dub.
Bucks and Pats.
See, this is I said last week, this is my last time doing this. I promise you. I only did it one time this week. I was, straight up with most of my picks. I'm picking the Bucks, but if the Pats win, I'm not surprised. I don't think it will be a blowout, and I'll predict the score for this one. I think Mac Jones finally gonna air it out. Put up some points. So I'm going 38-35.
38-35 Bucks.
Yeah, with a walk-off field goal. I don't even know who their kicker is because they haven't been kicking like that this year anyway. But
I forgot. I think it might be Suckup, like Ryan Suckup, maybe.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Raiders Chargers. It's a Monday night matchup. Another good one. This week got a lot of good matchups.
It is, but yeah, all right. This one's easy for me, in my opinion. I think the Raiders come back down to earth. They're undefeated. The Chargers are I would say their biggest quality opponent because they beat the Steelers, who haven't looked that well, and they beat the Ravens. But I think the Chargers are the best team they played this season, and I think that they will prevail. Coming off a big win, could be very well be 3-0. Like a lot of teams could be 3-0 or 0-3, but the Chargers, got their young superstar quarterback, and I think they will roll. Where's that matchup at?
It's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. I think the Chargers. Yeah, I got the Chargers.
Yeah, and Washington Falcons.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna catch up one game on this one. I'm going Washington. They're gonna bounce back. Is this game in the A?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, Heineke's coming back. Collins is gonna have he's gonna have folks in the stands. He might go for 275 and 3 TDs. So I'm going with a football team. They finally step up. Montez is coming home too. He's from the A. He's gonna put on the show for the fam. Might hit a little za before the game. So I'm going with the football team.
You're tripping. You did this last week. Keep picking against this though.
Yeah,
I'm great being at 500 2-2. I'm going with my Falcons, of course, for the first one. I just worked my way back. Falcons for sure. We're taking this one by at least 10 points. I already said I'll go with your Jaguars tonight. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but I'm just feeling something. Something's telling me they're going to win. I'm just going to go with it. Browns, Vikings. I'm going with the Browns. I don't believe in the Vikings. I don't even know if Dalvin Cook is playing again. I know he didn't play last week. I'll definitely go with the Browns. Chiefs, Eagles, Chiefs, easy one. Colts and Dolphins. I don't even know. I'm going to go Dolphins. I got to. Jacoby Brissett proved enough to me to where I can see them beating the Colts, especially at home. Saints, definitely, coming back home. Giants really aren't a good team. They go 0-4 and still possibly have a chance to win a division depending on what Dallas does. Lions, Bears. I want to go with the Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions.
That's a bold pick. I feel like
bold. That way. It's super bold, and I don't know why I'm going with them. But obviously, I don't know who's going to start for the Bears, and I just don't believe in Matt Nagy making right decisions. So I'm going to go with the Lions. Panthers, Cowboys, I'm going to go. I can't go with the division foe, but I also can't go with the team I hate. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I guess I'll go with them. I'd rather take a Panthers loss or see a Panthers loss. I'll go with the Cowboys at home. Bills for sure at home. Titans on the road. Rams, they just look too good for me not to pick them. And I think DeAndre Hopkins got hurt or is hurt. Still playing, though. But
he's getting locked up last week. That's what I know.
Yeah. He needs to sit out a game or two. I don't know if the Rams game is one to do it, but he needs to. Seahawks, 49ers. Dang, I keep going with the Seahawks, and I've done this for years. I always go to the Seahawks. I'm like, oh, they're gonna win. Like, I still see them as a quality team. I just think Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, and Lockett and Metcalf. I'm like, oh, they're gonna win, but their defense is god awful. It's god awful. I don't know, but like you said, I think they've taken 2 tough losses back to back weeks. I think they gotta win this one. Like this one's like a test of manhood. If they lose this one, what everybody's been saying about them this year is definitely true. Like they're not making the playoffs. But they gotta win this one. Ravens, Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Broncos too. I just think that they're the good defense and safe play football. I think this is gonna end up winning. It's gonna be close though. I think they win by like a point or two. Packers got to. Bucks, unfortunately. And I'm gonna go with the Chargers too, like you said. So I think we only had 3 different ones, but still enough. Yeah, I went with the Lions and Falcons. And Browns. So those are our differences. Oh, and I went with the Dolphins as well. So those are the 4 differences for us this week.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll be tied up.
Yeah, that means I would have to lose all 4 of them.
It'll be tough though, all those could go either way. I just think the definite picks. I think the picks I'm gonna win 100% are the Bears and your Falcons, because last week the Giants. Just watching that game.
That was probably one of the more boring games I've ever seen.
I'm like, bro, I'm trying to watch this game for Jelani and Chris, so I can maybe talk some mess, but
nah, it was
hard.
It was
hard to watch, bro.
It was definitely tough. like that one's up there with whatever Super Bowl was here in Atlanta.
Oh
It was
yeah, the
kind of
Rams and Pats. Yep.
yeah. It was pretty boring. There's some plays that I watched in the highlights that I didn't remember seeing. I'm like, what? When did this happen? I don't remember that at all. But yeah, that does it for today's show, man. To end off, obviously they dropped the Super Bowl people that's gonna or Super Bowl performances that's gonna be happening in Los Angeles. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, Eminem, I think Mary J. Blige too. Pretty loaded. I mean, that's definitely a big upgrade from what they've done in the past years. Like we had Maroon 5 here. Like how you come to Atlanta and bring Maroon 5 to perform? Like that was some bull. And then last year I think it was The Weeknd, I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah, so out of those people, which like I said, is pretty loaded, I didn't think they'd get. I mean, it's Los Angeles, so they probably just wanted to do it Hollywood, whatever they wanted to do, and bring out a lot of people. Obviously, they bring out 3 people that's native to the area. Who would you leave off?
I gotta agree with Mo. I would go Eminem. You gotta leave Snoop. He's from the area. Dr. Dre, legend. Mary J. Who else was on there? Mary J. Snoop, Dr. Dre. It was one more person, right?
Eminem, Kendrick.
I'm sorry, Eminem. You gotta go, my boy. I mean, you can't really go wrong with anybody, but I would just keep that lineup: Mary J. Snoop, Dr. Dre, and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Can't leave Snoop. Snoop's staying. Mary J, Kendrick, and Dr. J might be able to go, but Snoop got to stay. He's from Cali. You can't kick him off.
Snoop
like
off.
That's and the Super Bowl's in LA too, or wherever their stadium's at. But you can't do that.
Yeah.
I say Eminem though.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see how all of it matches up. To be honest, I mean, I know Dr. Dre and Eminem's doesn't work together. Obviously, I think Snoop and Dr. Dre done a little bit of work together. Kendrick. Mary J. Blige done a little bit of work with all of them as well. So it's gonna be interesting. Definitely. I'm glad they came around to their senses and made the Super Bowl halftime show a little bit better this year. Got some actual performances. I mean, Weeknd's okay. Maroon 5, I'm still mad about that. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Like you can't. How you do that to this city? How you do that to us? But then LA, you want to bring in their home. You bring in their people that stay there, but here you don't even try. Like it didn't seem like they tried whatsoever. But whatever, raw. That was like 3 years ago. But yeah, man, that does it for everything that I got. Anything we missed today?
Nah, just looking forward to another action-packed weekend. A better Saturday this week, but Saturday and Sunday will be, filled with a lot of good games, and we'll have a lot to talk about. Overreaction Monday when we get back on here next week, and I have a lot to talk about going into this week. Previewing the other matchups on See You Sunday.
Yeah, definitely check out See You Sunday. I think I should be able to make an appearance this Sunday for sure. I think 11 o'clock off the Ball Network, Couch Coach live. Yep, Saturday. I'll be on there this week. Of course, previewing the NFL matchups for the week, or weekend rather, and the Overreaction Monday as well following. I should be able to get on that one as well. I've been able to see all the overreactions. I got to have my own overreaction. If the Falcons win, I'm for sure coming on. But
I promise you, please don't say what I think you're gonna say, bro.
No, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. It probably won't even be about Falcons. It'll probably be about something totally different. But yeah, definitely check out those 2 shows that's coming Saturday and Monday. Like that said, he's been on a few. Couch Coach, shout out to them. Also, shout out to everybody on Off the Ball Network. Shout out to our sponsors, Ice Shaker and MyBookie as well. Definitely follow everybody over there. A lot of people dropped some good articles. I think Kendall just dropped one today about the top 5 or the 5 games to watch this weekend. But definitely check out everybody's work. And that does it for today's or this week's episode of What the Game Means to Me. I'm Jelani. That's Thad, and we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Catch y'all next week.